Hey, you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Prophet Maria Byrd, and I'm telling you, you guys, it's going to be absolutely amazing. I am so excited to share with you. And so I just want to give you a moment to come on. Why don't you go ahead and share this broadcast? It's going to be absolutely amazing. Yes, you guys. Thanks so much for coming on. Hello, beautiful people. Listen, I am so excited because I'm getting ready to have story time. Story time is when I share with you one of my life experiences or one of my memories or just something that, I have experienced in my life that I want to take the time to share with you. So come on in because we're getting ready to get started in just a moment. Go ahead and share. Well, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I'm so excited because I have the awesome privilege. Talking to you guys, I really see it as a privilege. And I just wanted to share with you when I was reflecting and just going over some things in my mind. I remember this experience that I had in college, and then I thought to myself, wait a minute, Maria, you actually wrote about this before and published it. And so I had to really remind myself and remember that I have a site, a WordPress site where I have published many of my writings. And oftentimes when I journal, this is a site that I can come on and actually publish it. And so if you want to access this site and look at different writings and things that I have put on here just about my life or my day in general, then you can go on to www.mariabird.wordpress.com, and then you will see like all of the different writings and things that I put on there throughout the years. And so one of the things that I put on there again was about my college experience, and I entitled it When I Close My Eyes. And so when I think about this particular piece, I wanted to share it with you during today's story time. And so when I was in college, I can just remember, oh my goodness, so many different moments of just running out of food, needing some money, and, just really trying to make it on my own and really trying to establish my independence. You know how it is when you're trying to establish your independence from your parents and you're just trying to just really take care of yourself by yourself. And so I can just remember getting a job while I was on campus. Like, yeah, that's what you do when you trying to take care of yourself financially. You get a job. So I got a job on campus, and the job was working for the school newspaper, and I was one of their journalists, and I was one of their, their writers for their newspaper, and I just absolutely loved it. I mean, I had a wonderful experience. For everyone, for all my writers out there, you know how it is just to be able to express yourself. And so I was just excited to be able to do what I always love to do, but actually get paid for it, and then for it to actually get published. Like, that was bananas. And so yes, I had that, but it was a part-time job. Like, I needed some more money. I needed some more money coming in. So I was like, well, let me get another job. And so there was this department on campus, and it was called the maintenance department. And so while I was working with the maintenance department, I was working in the work order office. And so this was the particular office where you would submit like all of your work orders. Let's say you had a backed up toilet, or let's say that, something was going on with your refrigerator. At my particular campus, you would fill out a work order form and then submit it to the maintenance office, where it will be received in the work order office, and I was the person that was receiving it at that particular time. And so now when I think about this particular job, I had this job, and like I said, I had the job where I was working at the school newspaper. And so I had two jobs, and I needed some full-time money. So I said, hey, one part-time job plus another part-time job, it gotta equal some full-time money, right? So I had both of these jobs, and this particular, like, one job I loved and the other job I hated. Like, isn't that crazy? But anyway, I can just remember this particular job, you know, it was on like a little side road that was like off to the side of the campus. It was still attached to the campus, but it was like a side road. And so you had to walk down this little side road, and then it was like trees on both sides. And then when you got to the end of the side road, to the left side was the parking lot, and to the right side was the maintenance department. And so, but it was like kind of back a little bit behind the trees. So it really was like off to the cut, which was like, should have been red flag number one. But anyway, I was trying to get these coins. So I remember just, it wasn't too far from my dorm. So I used to just walk there, get a little exercise. And it was like, as I would be walking down that little side road on my way to the maintenance department, I can just remember thinking at different times, just dreading going, like, oh God, like, do I have to go to this job? And somebody might say, well, Maria, why you didn't like it? Well, it was so many different reasons why I didn't like it. One of the reasons was like I was there, and then it was 2 other women. So it was only 3 women in that whole department. Everybody else was men. And that's a whole nother testimony for a whole nother day. But anytime you are working around a bunch of men, you just have to be careful because it can get sticky, right? And so I just remember one of the things about all of those people that I will work with is that they all got along. But I did not fit in with them because, they used to gossip, and they used to curse, and they used to smoke, and they used to, just do different things that I was not into. And another thing that they used to do was like they used to watch crazy sexually explicit things on their computers and talk about it and laugh. And I didn't think it was funny. Now, even though I was not like saved yet, I still had at least a form of godliness. Like I knew, I had a God consciousness. So I knew that, okay, I wasn't super deep, but I'm like, this stuff ain't right. Like, y'all ain't right. But I was like, well, hey, Maria, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I'm just going to go and just do what it takes to make this money. And so I was every day just dreading going to this place. Like, I did not want to go. And I can just remember different times that I would be walking on that little side road, and I would just feel intimidated, and I would feel, almost nauseated, almost sick to my stomach. Like, oh God, deliver me from this place. And so as I was on my way to the maintenance office one day, it was like I was having this open vision. And in the open vision, I saw all of these angels, and they was going into like every place on the building. Like they was going in the doors, and they was going in the top chimney part, and they was going in the side doors. And it was just like angels just going all in different parts of this building, and it was like, I just remember closing my eyes for just a moment and just feeling the presence of God. And it was just like God was saying to me, like, all these angels are for you. I'm with you, and I've gone before you, and I've already given you the victory concerning this situation, concerning this place. And I felt a peace. When I closed my eyes, I felt a peace. And when I opened my eyes again, it was like I received the strength that I needed in order to go to work in that place. I received the strength that I needed to work with those people. I received the strength that I needed to face another day and to fight on. And I just remember thinking like, wow, like God loves me that much that he would just show me that in my vision that, he has released angels on my behalf that are fighting for me. And it all was like in that little brief moment when I closed my eyes. And so, I was able to work there that much longer. I was able to endure what I was enduring that much longer. I was able to persevere, for that much longer. I was able to do it for that much longer, all because of that just stillness in that moment with God. And so I remember this one day in particular, I was encountering in a negative way my manager at that particular time. Her name was Miss Rose. It's okay for me to say her name. Like, it's okay. That was her name. And so, I can just remember this little lady, she was a mean little lady, and she should just have these just evil looking eyes, and it was just, I didn't like her. I just like, oh God, just please deliver me from this place. And so like I just remember different times that they would try to sabotage me and do little things to try to get me in trouble, or do little things to try to make me feel like I wasn't doing my job correctly. But really I knew the truth. The truth of the matter was is that I would not participate with them in their mess. And they didn't like that. They didn't like the fact that I refused to fit in with them. I refused to laugh at their jokes. I refused to participate in their conversations. I refused to, look at what they was looking at on their computers or engage in any of that. Like I refused. And those like they didn't like that, and so they did their best to try to get me out of there. And I can just remember one time, it was one specific day in particular that, the lady was just like trying to reprimand me about something that I didn't even do. And I was just like trying to keep my composure, but, speak up and clarify the situation. But at the same time, I had to hold my tongue because I was like, oh, I'm finna give you a piece of my mind. And not only that, that had happened when I had first got to work. But then it was like towards the end of my shift, I can remember in particular, there was this man there, one of the maintenance workers. And, it was like, basically he came into the office, and you know how like you can tell when somebody hanging around and they just kind of like trying to make it seem like they doing something, but they just hanging around. And I was like, okay, go on about your business. You're like, what do you want? And he was just kind of hanging around in the office, and is there something that you need? Or oh no, I'm like, oh, okay, like you can leave basically. And so he had came over towards where I was, towards my computer, and he was just like, ooh, you look pretty today. And I was like, and he was like, I'm not gonna say it on here, but basically he said something that was very sexually explicit. And I was like, what? Okay, you gonna pay for that one. Like you finna lose your job. So, I remember telling the manager what happened, and I ended up having to go over her head for the situation to get handled because she wasn't trying to hear what I was trying to say. Like, remember, all of them was in cahoots with one another. So it was like when I was telling her, this man said some inappropriate things to me, like this man sexually harassed me, like, she was just like, oh, well, you taking things out of proportion, and you probably wouldn't even like that. And I talked to him, but, you need to do this and you need to do that. And she did not like the fact that I was coming against the dysfunction of that office. And so I ended up going over her head, and speaking to the president and letting them know what was going on in the maintenance office. And needless to say, that was my last day. Oh yeah. I'm not playing with y'all. Like, that was my last day. And so shortly after that, the entire maintenance department was under new management and new staff. Everybody was new. They cleaned house. Now, I was gone. I'm not coming back. But I was so thankful that justice was served. Like, you cannot do people like that and think that nothing is going to happen to you. And so I'm just so appreciative that justice was served, that only a few days later, it was all under new management and new staff. And I just remember when I found out the great news that all of them was gone, I remember thinking about those angels. I remember thinking about those angels that God showed me, letting me know that he was with me and that he was going before me to fight my battle. And when I think about the whole scenario and everything that happened, the best part was when I closed my eyes. When I closed my eyes, when God showed me those angels, and I closed my eyes and I just spent some time with him, and that still small voice let me know that I am with you, I love you, and I'm fighting for you, and I will give you the victory concerning this thing. So I wanted to just share that with you during today's story time. And I wanted to encourage someone that may be in a crazy toxic environment, that may be in a crazy toxic situation. I want you to find yourself in the presence of God, that God goes before you, that he's releasing his angels to fight on your behalf. And when the dust settles, you will still be standing. You will still have the victory. And in that still small voice, God will let you know that I am with you, that I love you, and I'm giving you the victory. It was all when I closed my eyes. Thank you, Lord.